Hello everyone. So we'll start off in practice today in a seated cross-legged position. Begin by cupping your knees with your palms, closing your eyes, guiding your weight forward into your sitting bones to sit nice and tall. So for our optimal health, it's important for our bodies to spend as much time as possible in a parasympathetic state. And this is the aspect of our nervous systems that allows us to rest, to relax, to digest our food most efficiently, and also for our bodies to heal themselves. If you're feeling stressed out, whether it be physically, mentally, or emotionally, it's often challenging to shift gears, to switch to that parasympathetic state. But by simply deepening the breath, slowing down the breath, we can activate this aspect of our nervous system. So just begin by breathing into a slow count of 4, your own count. Out to a slow count of 4. So the inhalation and the exhalation are of equal length. And as you slow down and deepen the breath, you're signaling the nervous system that it's time to switch gears. It's time to slow down and relax. And now opening your eyes, we're going to start off with an exercise, a breathing exercise that stimulates the vagus nerve, which in turn activates your parasympathetic nervous system. And this breath is called Bhramari Breath or Bumble Bee Breath. So just begin by plugging your thumbs into your ears, so nice and softly. Then rest your middle finger to the tops of your eyelids, closing your eyes. So without placing too much pressure on the eyelids, just letting the fingertips rest softly there. Now take a deep breath in through the nose, and then as you exhale out of the nose, hum on the exhalation. So big breath in. And so it goes. Last one. And now placing your palms back to the knees, keeping your eyes closed. Just notice here if you feel a little more relaxed. Now to initiate your Ujjayi breath, create a slight restriction in the back of your throat, allowing your breath to become audible both on the inhalation and the exhalation. And now open your eyes. Now begin by tucking the top of the left foot snugly to the outside of the left hip. With your left hand, draw the right heel a little further forward until your shin runs parallel with the top edge of your mat. Now readjust the left shin so it runs parallel with the long edge of your mat, flexing that foot in toward the knee. So you want right angles here between the calves and the thighs on both legs. Place your palms to the floor in front of that right shin and either hold it here on nice strong straight arms. You might soften slightly into the elbows, or you might lower all the way down onto your forearms. So we're really isolating the stretch through that right hip. Keep your right foot flexed in toward the knee, ankle nice and strong, maintaining that same depth, that same steadiness of breath. And now slowly easing your way back up onto your palms. Without lifting that right knee from the floor, lift the left knee first as high as you can, and then gently shift over to the opposite side, facing the back of your mat now. The left shin parallel with the top edge of your mat, right thigh parallel with that left shin. And as we did on the opposite side, palms to the floor in front of the left shin, again softening into the elbows, perhaps coming all the way down onto the forearms. Now bringing the stretch deeply into that left hip. Shoulders stay nice and relaxed. Breath stays steady. Now gently make your way back up onto your palms. Keeping that left knee toward the floor, lift the right knee as high as you can first, and then switch over to where we began, facing the opposite side. Now from here, we're going to step back into downward dog, planting your palms to the floor. Scoot that left foot out behind you, tuck the toes under, and then step the right foot back to join. And just begin here by bending one knee into the next, pedaling the heels up and down. Gradually begin to straighten the legs. And now shifting your weight to your left foot, lift the right leg high behind you. Bend your knee, let your heel roll over the left hip. Neck is relaxed, long and strong through both arms. Straighten the right leg back out behind you. Place your foot to the floor and now switch sides. Lift the left leg nice and high, bend the knee, and let the heel roll over your right hip. Now extend that left leg back out behind you and take a big step forward between your hands, ankle beneath the knee. Step the right foot forward to join the left. Inhale, heart lifts. As you exhale, bow forward. Inhale to rise, arms overhead, gaze to your thumbs. As you exhale, draw your palms to your heart. Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, reach up, look up. As you exhale, fold forward. Hands down, heart lifts, palms to the floor, step back into upper plank. Drop the knees if you need to, lower to hover if you can. Point the toes, little cobra or full upward dog. Exhale, lift the hips, roll over the toes, settling back into downward dog for 5 of your deepest breaths. And you might choose to soften into the knees here for these first few downward dogs, just until the hamstrings begin to warm up and lengthen. As always, child's pose is an option if you need to take a break. Take one more deep breath in, and at the bottom of your next breath, gaze forward to step or hop your feet between your hands. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise, arms overhead. As you exhale, hands to heart. And again, inhale, extend your arms. As you exhale, fold deeply over your thighs. Hands down, heart lifts. Palms to the floor, step back into upper plank. Lower with control, keep the core strong. Inhale to rise upward, strong legs, lift the knees. Exhale, lift the hips, roll over the toes, settling back into downward facing dog. Allowing your head to hang nice and heavily here. Neck is relaxed. Maintaining that same depth, that same steadiness of breath. Take one more full breath in, and at the bottom of your next breath, gaze forward to step or hop between your hands. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise, arms overhead. As you exhale, palms to heart. Inhale, extend the arms. As you exhale, fold with a flat back. Hands down, heart lifts. Palms to the floor, step or hop into high plank, and now continue with the rhythm of your own breath. We'll all join in downward dog. Now at the bottom of your next breath, step your right foot forward, ankle beneath the knee. Stay on the ball of the left foot, sweep your arms overhead, crescent lunge. While only lifting your gaze here if the neck is comfortable. Pressing firmly into the left heel, extending fully into the fingertips. Now take one more full breath in. Draw your head to center, drop the left heel, and open the arms wide into Warrior Two. Gazing over the middle finger on your right hand, sinking deeply into your lunge. Now just for a breath, straighten that right leg. Give those thigh muscles a little bit of a break. And now add even more depth to your lunge. Flip the right palm to the ceiling. Inhale, exalted warrior, reach up and back. Left hand trickles down the outside of the left thigh. Gaze toward your higher hand. Take one more big breath in. Exhale back into Warrior Two. Tipping forward into extended side angle pose, either elbow to thigh to reach the left arm forward, or perhaps placing your fingertips to the floor on the little toe side of that right foot. Lean back toward the shoulder blades, gaze forward toward your fingertips. As you initiate your next inhalation, float back into Warrior Two, this time straightening the right leg for exalted triangle. Reach up through the right arm, back through the left, both legs straight, belly tucked in, core nice and strong. Take one more big breath in, exhale back to center. Take a big reach forward, tipping into triangle. Right hand floats to the inside of the right shin. Left arm reaches to the sky. Now turning your gaze to your big toe on your right foot, soften into your right knee, plant your palms to the floor, and step all the way back into upper plank. As you exhale, lower. Inhale to rise upward. Exhale, downward facing dog. At the bottom of your next breath, step the left foot forward. Stay on the ball of the right foot, sweeping the arms back into Crescent Lunge. A nice deep stretch to the front of that right hip and thigh as you reach into the right heel. Take one more big breath in, drop the right heel, open the arms wide. Warrior Two, arms long to the long edge of your mat. Shoulders soft and relaxed. Now just for a breath, straightening that left leg. Add a little bit more depth to your lunge. Left palms open to the ceiling, reach up and back, exalted warrior. Gazing towards your higher hand. Take one more deep belly breath in. Exhale into whichever variation of extended side angle that you took on the opposite side. Either elbow to thigh, perhaps fingertips to the floor on the little toe side of the foot. As you initiate your next inhalation, rise all the way up, straighten the left leg. Exalted triangle, reach up through the left arm, back through the right. Belly tucked in to protect the lower back. Take one more full breath in. Exhale, back to center. Take that long reach forward and then tip into a lengthy triangle. long through both sides of the upper body. Long and strong through both legs. Now turning your gaze to your left foot, bend your left knee, plant your palms to the floor and step all the way back into upper plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale to rise upward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now walking your big toes together in the middle of your mat. Extend your right leg out behind you. Cross your right foot behind the left heel, and now move into a cross-legged forward fold at the back of your mat, walking your hands to your toes. Catch your elbows. Let your upper body hang heavily here over your thighs as you work towards straightening both legs. Now release the elbows. Let your hands slide down the shins, perhaps resting your fingertips to the floor in front of your toes. Neck is relaxed. Weight is forward toward the balls of your feet. Now drawing your hands to your hips, keeping your legs crossed, rise all the way up to standing. Release your arms to your sides. And in preparation for eagle pose, keeping your legs crossed, just begin by bending deeply into both knees. So lots of different options here. You can keep your left foot to the floor for support. You can let the foot hang, or you can slip the foot all the way around the back of your standing calf to take the bind. Now bringing the arms forward, right elbow over left, either to bring the palms together. If that's challenging, just plant your hands to the top of the shoulders as you lift the elbows. Keeping your arms as they are, release the legs. As you inhale, unravel the arms, both overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Walk your hands forward, returning to downward facing dog again. And then once again, bring your big toes together in the middle of your mat. Switching sides, reach the left leg back. Cross the left foot behind the right heel. And now walk your hands all the way back to your toes, once again to catch the elbows. Little bit of a bend through that right knee as it crosses over the left. Now release your elbows, hands to shins, ankles, perhaps to the floor in front of your toes. Let your head hang even more heavily. Now drawing your hands to your hips as you inhale, rise all the way up. Release your arms to your sides. And now returning to eagle pose, begin by bending into both knees. Same options on this side, either toes to the floor, you can let that foot hang, or you can slip the foot all the way around the back of your standing calf. Now bringing the arms forward, this time crossing the left elbow over the right, either wiggling the palms toward each other or placing your hands to the top of the shoulders. The higher you lift the elbows, the deeper the stretch. The further you draw the thumbs away from the forehead, the deeper the stretch through the shoulders. Now keeping your arms as they are, release the legs. As you inhale, unravel the arms, sweep them both overhead. As you exhale, fold forward. Walk your hands forward, returning to downward facing dog again. And now take a deep breath in, and at the bottom of your next breath, gaze forward to step, walk, or hop your feet between your hands. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise, arms overhead. As you exhale, draw your palms to your heart. Utkatasana, bend your knees, sweep the arms overhead. Now drawing your hands to your heart, drop your hips toward your heels, squeeze the big toes, ankles, and knees together. Now drape your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh, palms together, fingertips face forward. And in your mind's eye, without actually doing so, just imagine shifting your weight to your right foot and then sending that left leg out behind you into a lunge. And then whenever you're ready, slowly extending that left leg back to rest on the ball of the foot. Palms together, fingertips face forward. Gazing toward the tip of your right elbow. Now preparing to swivel down into a seated twist facing the right-hand side of your mat, separate your palms and rest your fingertips to the floor just outside of your mat. Now swivel your hips to the ground. You'll land with the right foot crossed over the left thigh. If your hips are really tight, feel free to slip a block beneath your hips. And now preparing to twist to the right, right hand behind the right hip, reach the left arm to the ceiling. Hook your left elbow to the outside of the right thigh, and now inhale to lengthen and exhale to gaze over your shoulder. Encourage that right sitting bone to drop. Feel your lower belly press forward toward the top of your thigh. Take one more big breath in, release the left elbow, return to center. Now keeping your left leg as it is, uncross the right foot from the left thigh to tuck the top of the right foot snugly beside your right hip. Taking a twist to the left, left hand behind the left hip, right hand to left knee. Inhale to lengthen and now exhale to gaze over the left shoulder. Allow your weight to collapse fully now into your left palm. Reach your right arm to the ceiling. Either hold it here with your hips to the floor or rise onto both knees. Press the hips forward and let that right arm drop back. Gazing toward your right hand. The further forward you press the hips, the deeper the stretch. Take one more full breath in. Exhale, gently lower your hips back to the ground. And now place your palms to the floor in front of your left ankle and fold forward over top of your left shin. Perhaps resting on the forearms, perhaps the forehead. Take a few big breaths here. And now lifting your forehead from the floor if it's resting. Walk your entire upper body around to the left. Draw your belly over top of your left thigh so your fingertips are now reaching toward the top edge of your mat. You can either drop down onto the elbows here. You might extend the arms fully forward to rest your forehead to the floor. But really encourage that right armpit to drop, bringing the stretch deeply into the lats along the right side of your upper body. Now preparing to move into Wheel of Life pose from here. Listening carefully, lift your forehead from the floor and just walk your hands in towards you slightly. Thread your left arm underneath the right armpit, easing your left shoulder to the floor. Now your legs will stay exactly as they are. All you need to do is roll all the way over onto your back. So once you've rolled over, see if you can catch the top of your right foot just to draw it a little higher up beside the right hip. Now you can either hold it here or to take the bind in this posture, secure your left heel to the top of your right thigh just above the knee, just helping to anchor that right knee to the ground. And then extend the arms overhead. Close your eyes. And even though your head is resting on the floor here, the chin tucks toward the chest, back of the neck is nice and long. So that left buttock is connected to the floor, but the right hip here will most likely lift a little bit. So there's a little bit of an arch through the spine. Now just let gravity do all of the work. Again, deepening your inhalation, prolonging the exhalation. Now if your left foot is resting to the top of your thigh, slide it off. Extend your left leg down onto your mat. The right leg joins. And then from here, just roll onto your left shoulder, back onto your mat again. Position your hands beneath the shoulders. Rise onto all fours and sit back into child's pose for a few big breaths. Now rising back onto all fours, tuck your toes under, lift your hips back into downward dog. Take a big breath in, and at the bottom of your next breath, gaze forward to step or hop your feet between your hands. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms back into Utkatasana. Draw your hands to your heart. Now drop your hips, your sitting bones, to the level of your knees. Switching sides now, drape your right elbow to the outside of the left thigh, palms together, fingertips face forward. And now, as we did on the opposite side, shifting your weight to your left foot this time, and then slowly taking a step back with the right foot. Using that right elbow as leverage against the outside of the left thigh to move deeply into the twist. Now separate your palms, place your fingertips to the floor just past that left-hand side of your mat, and then swivel back down into a seated twist. Left foot over the right thigh, sitting nice and tall. And now preparing to twist to the left hand behind your left hip, reach into the right arm, hook your right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Inhale to lengthen, and now exhale to look all the way over that left shoulder. Take one more deep breath in, release your right elbow, return to center. And now uncross the left foot from your right thigh to tuck the top of the left foot snugly beside the left hip. Taking a twist to the right, right hand behind the right hip, left hand to right knee. Inhale to lengthen, and now exhale to gaze over your right shoulder. Allow your weight to collapse fully into your right hand. Sweep the left arm to the ceiling, lift your gaze, and either hold it here or rise onto both knees. Press the hips forward and let that left arm drop back. Head falls back. Take one more big breath in. Gently lower your hips. And now place your palms to the floor in front of your right shin and take a forward fold. Either resting on the forearms, perhaps all the way forward to rest your forehead to the ground. And now lifting your forehead from the floor, walk your entire upper body around to the right. So fingertips again, reaching toward that top edge of your mat, belly over top of your right thigh, either dropping the elbows or extending the arms fully forward to rest your forehead to the floor. Now reach particularly long through that left arm. Again, deep stretch to the left side of the upper body. And now lifting your forehead from the floor, walking your hands in toward you just slightly. Returning to Wheel of Life pose, threading the right arm underneath the left armpit. Drop the right shoulder to the floor. Again, legs stay just as they are. Simply rolling all the way over onto your back, both shoulders on the ground. Now see if you can reach the top of that left foot this time to tuck it a little higher up beside your left hip. So you want the top of the foot on the floor rather than the inner arch. A little less stress on the knee joint. If you took the bind on the other side, secure your right foot to the top of your left thigh, just above the knee. And then extend both arms overhead, tucking the chin toward the chest. closing your eyes. And now that you're properly positioned, there's very little effort required here. Again, gravity does all of the work. Just a little bit more effort surrounding your breath. Now, if your right foot is to the top of your left thigh, slide it off. Extend the left leg all the way down onto your mat. The right leg joins. And this time rolling onto your right shoulder and then all the way onto your belly. Hands beneath the shoulders, rising onto all fours and back into child's pose again. And now rising back onto all fours. Tuck the toes under, float your hips into one last downward facing dog. Inhale forward, one last upper plank. And then slowly lower all the way to the ground to gently roll over onto your back. And then once you've rolled over, just give your knees a nice tight squeeze to your chest. And finishing up with knee down twist, keeping hold of your right knee, straighten your left leg down onto your mat. Reach the right arm to the side, palm down. Turning your gaze toward your right hand, guide that right knee over to the left, just as far as the hip and the lower back will allow. Taking bigger breaths into the twist. And now drawing the head back to center, guide your right knee back and give both knees another squeeze. Switch sides, keep hold of your left knee, straighten your right leg. Reach the left arm out to the side, palm down. And now turning your gaze to the left, guide the knee to the right. And just notice if you're twisting with more ease to one side than the other. Now drawing your head back to center, draw the left knee back, and give both knees one last squeeze. Release your shins, lower your feet to the floor, and now extend your legs fully down onto your mat for our final posture. Arms resting at your sides. Allow your hips, your thighs, your buttocks to relax so fully that the feet and the ankles just fall open to the sides. Scoop your shoulder blades under to cradle your heart. Open your mouth wide, give your jaw a big stretch. And now as you close your mouth, let the jaw hinge open slightly. Let your breath return to its natural, relaxed rhythm. But continue to breathe into a slow count of 4 and out to a slow count of 4. And now know whenever you're feeling stressed or life is getting a little bit hectic, you can just sit down, close your eyes, and bring your attention to your breath. Slow